guys, I hope you are all safe and well. So thank you for joining me for another live stream. I can't thank you enough for joining once again. You are absolutely incredible for, making an account, coming over and joining me. I'm so grateful. So if you are new to my channel, I'm Jess. I'm from England, Southeast. I'm 25 years old and I am the UK World Sepsis Day Global Ambassador. But not only am I an ambassador, I'm a two-time sepsis survivor myself. So I know firsthand the effects of sepsis. I know the effects before, during, and after. So I know a lot of you have been commenting so far, so I'm just going to quickly do my hellos. Laura, hello, thank you for joining me once again. Love you lots. Mary from California, thank you so much. California, I bet you've got beautiful weather, haven't you? Thank you for standing by and waiting for me to go live. Means the absolute world. Put a comment. What kind of sepsis did you have? I want to know what your life is like now. I want to know how sepsis affected you. Are you still living with the after effects? If so, how many years later? So I want to know all of the juicy details in the comments. So please leave a comment and I will be reading them and interacting with you. So yeah, let me know. I want to know about your experience with life after sepsis. So let's get into it. A lot of people don't realise that sepsis doesn't finish at discharge. So the minute your discharge letters are signed, that doesn't mean that your life isn't going to be affected by sepsis. Now, obviously, I need to stress that a lot of people are discharged and they are absolutely fine, and they don't suffer any after effects whatsoever. And you know what? I would say you are one of the lucky ones. Globally, 60% of survivors will suffer a form of post-sepsis syndrome. And post-sepsis syndrome is the after effects of sepsis. And I'm going to talk to you about what I've suffered with and also bits that I have learned from other people. Because I've spoken to hundreds, literally hundreds and hundreds of people that are still suffering today. It could be 2 years later, it could be 5 years later, it could be 10 years later, and they are still suffering the effects of sepsis. And to me, I'm an advocate for it, and I cannot stress it enough. There needs to be better awareness about sepsis. There just really does. Let me turn this up. But yeah, guys, comment in the comment section. I want to know about your experience. I want to know where you're at. How's life now? Susie, let us know. Mary, let us know. Laura, let us know. I want to know how you are, okay? So I thought that I would bring on a little resource with me tonight, because a lot of people will openly say post-sepsis syndrome does not exist. And that's hard to hear, especially from a healthcare professional. When you've gone back to your doctor and you've said, I'm feeling this way, I'm feeling that way, and they turn around and say to you, it's in your head. There is no such thing as post-sepsis syndrome. So what I thought I would do is, this here is from the UK Sepsis Trust. And I've also got their website down this way or this way, this way or this way. And they are our charity here in the United Kingdom. Now, the World Sepsis Day organisation that I'm the ambassador for, also has a life after sepsis guide. So that includes life after intensive care. That is a life after sepsis guide for families, friends, any relatives, and also the survivor. And I would highly, highly recommend you check that out. So that is on the World Sepsis Day website, and it's under resources. So please go and check that out. I did have a part to play in the making of that guide. So yeah, highly, highly recommend it. But today I'm going to talk to you about the UK Sepsis Trust Recovery After Sepsis Guide. And the reason I thought I would bring this on with me is because it's all well and good me coming on here and saying you could potentially suffer with this, this, and this, but it's cold, hard facts. And that's what I want this channel to be about. These are facts. This is not information that I have come across over time. These are things that I have suffered with personally. These are things that hundreds and hundreds, even thousands of people suffer with. And in here is the hard, cold truth and facts that recovery after sepsis is difficult, and life after sepsis may not be the same. So I cannot stress it enough to make sure that you're finding relevant and truthful information from UK Sepsis Trust, Sepsis Alliance Africa, World Sepsis Day, the GSA, Global Sepsis Alliance, the ESA, which is the European Sepsis Alliance. Every bit of information that you take on board needs to be from a trusted organisation. Okay, so hi Kimberly, I hope you're well. Thank you for joining me once again. 2 years in April, no way. Oh my God. Still really tired and foggy. Yeah, so many people. But what I'll do is I'll get into that in a second. So, as you can see here, this is information for patients and families. Now, if you want one of these, please go onto the website, the UK Sepsis Trust website, and it is downloadable. So it's a bit like a reading session with Jess today. So for anyone that doesn't know what sepsis is, let me remind you. And I'm going to read it from the official guide, okay? So, sepsis, previously known as septicemia or blood poisoning. So back in the day, is something that my grandparents would say is blood poisoning, septicemia, and that is what it was known as. So it is a life-threatening condition. Yes, it is. And it occurs when the body's response to an infection injures its own tissues and organs. So it's fighting itself. Your sepsis is your body's overreaction to an infection. And this is a shocking, shocking fact. And I think when numbers are involved, your eyes just pop open. So an estimate of 250,000 people develop sepsis here in the UK. 250,000. Out of those 258,000, 48,000 die. They lose their lives. Babies, children, adults. And it's hard hitting. They are hard numbers. So it says here, as humans, we come into contact with pathogens, bugs, during our lifetime. Every single day we do. And that's why we're so hot on hygiene, sanitizing your hands, making sure that everything is clean, sterile, so that bacteria and bugs cannot grow. Some of which bugs can cause infections. And then it's our body's natural response and defense system and our immunity that fights those infections. And for a lot of people, I come across people that will say, I don't know what sepsis is, especially young parents. And it really bugs me that there isn't enough awareness with young parents, especially with children that won't wash their hands, especially at school. So I think that, in regards to bugs, there does need to be a bit more awareness with what them bugs can cause. And as I've just said, so it says here sepsis can occur in the body's immune system, which normally helps fight infection. It overreacts, causing damage to the tissues and the organs. And that is why some people develop sepsis from an infection. However, those are not entirely understood, and medical research institutions are working to understand this better. So that's a key fact there still isn't a lot known about why our bodies turn septic, why people go into septic shock. So there's still a lot of research being done. And, hats off to them scientists. And remember, sepsis is the largest global preventable killer. So why are we having this problem? And how is it treated? Simply treated with IV antibiotics, so intravenous antibiotics. Okay, many people or most people will require hospital admission, yes, and some may require treatment in ICU. And that usually is with people that have gone into shock and their bodies have completely shut down. And that would be that case. An important fact here is sepsis is not contagious. You cannot pass it on to anyone else, okay? And I'm really glad it says this in this book. It says here, sepsis can be frightening, especially if you have never heard of this condition and it has suddenly made you very ill. And I most certainly, when I got ill, it was very, very sudden. I went to my GP after begging for an appointment, and then she said, I'm admitting you into hospital with sepsis. And 21 years old, and being told, well, you've got sepsis and you're, severely ill, it was frightening. So the key word that they have actually used in this book is frightening. And it absolutely is. And traumatic experience for you and your close loved ones. And that's why we do the Face of Sepsis interviews, is because not only does sepsis affect the patient, it affects the families and all of the relatives and friends around them. And life after sepsis doesn't just affect the survivor. Life after sepsis affects everyone around them, from friends, family, children. And I'm going to get into that in a minute, the effects that it can have on those that haven't necessarily suffered with sepsis, but they have suffered because of sepsis, which there is a difference. So that's the introduction there. So the key thing that I wanted to tell you out of this book is, so life after sepsis, i.e. post-sepsis syndrome, let's say, many people have new physical, psychological, and emotional symptoms during their recovery. If you're watching, can you please put a comment whether you have suffered a physical, a psychological, or emotional symptom during your recovery from sepsis? Let's have a look. How many of you watching have suffered from a physical, psychological, or emotional symptom because of sepsis? Leave me a comment. Let's have a look. Okay. Oh, guys, we've got loads of comments here. Kimberly. So, still suffering with constant pain and infections in my feet of what's left of them. Yeah. So, many sepsis survivors, life after sepsis means that their life has completely changed. They need to change their house, their living arrangements. Some people can't drive. Some people, their life is just completely changed. because of emotional, physical, psychological effects, and one of them being amputations. So if you're watching this and you're like, well, why has amputations been brought into this? Because some people that develop sepsis, where their organs have begun to shut down, their tissues shut down as well, and they lose limbs. And the tissue goes all black, and sadly limbs do need to be amputated. And in Kimberly's experience, it was her feet. And Kimberly, you're so strong. I admire you so much. Okay. All of the above. Can you hear me better now? Let me know. Put a comment. I've just read your comment. Let me know if you can hear me properly. Okay, so literally all of the above. So physical, psychological, and emotional symptoms during recovery. So most people, have just put here all of the above. Wow. And do you know what? It's just so heartbreaking. And I hope each and every one of you has had the support that you need. And if you haven't, let me know, get in contact with me and I can put you in the right direction. Okay. And we've got loads of people commenting about your sepsis experiences as well. Memory loss, absolutely. Oh my God, memory loss is one of the ones that gets me the most. And I always tell this story. I use my phone every single day, campaign work, sepsis awareness work, and my daily life, my job. And one morning I woke up and I couldn't remember the pin to my phone. It was just gone. And I use this every single day. And I got so stressed out. I got so emotional because I didn't understand how I could forget something so prevalent in my life, something I use every single day. And I had to reset my whole phone. I lost everything that was on my phone because I couldn't remember my PIN. And I'd been using it the night before. But when I woke up in the morning, it was like, I can't even explain it. It was like just a blank canvas. And I was looking at my phone and I was just gone. It was gone. And it really, really upset me. I couldn't believe it. Okay, I can have a good day, and then out of the blue, grief from my former life hits like a wave. Yeah, like I can't imagine the stress, and just by having your life really, really impacted. I'm very, very lucky. I've got all of my limbs, but what I did suffer with post sepsis was memory loss, like I've just said, extreme nightmares. And there was like a reoccurring nightmare that I was losing my teeth. So every night I went to bed, I would have this nightmare. And in the nightmare, I was at my mum's house and I was in her bathroom. And anyway, she had it all like mirrored. And I was looking in the mirror and one of my teeth fell out. So obviously this is in my dream. And I picked it out of my mouth. And then when I picked that tooth out, I knocked the other tooth. And then the other tooth fell out. And then all of a sudden, all of my teeth just started literally falling out into my hand. And I had this dream like for so long, so long. And in the mornings, I would wake up and make sure that my teeth were there. And when I looked into dreams, they do say that your dreams reflect something that has happened in your life. And falling teeth meant losing a part of you. And I found that really relevant because I had just come out of such a traumatic experience. And for me, the loss was I'd lost a part of myself, not physically, but mentally and emotionally. I had lost a part of myself, and my dreams were reflecting that. And yeah, that's something that really, really sticks with me, is because these dreams were horrific, like absolute. They felt so real, and it wasn't until a couple of years ago, and I started talking to other survivors, did I come across people that had also had dreams similar to what I had, teeth falling out, hair falling out in their dreams. And it just really, really hit me that I wasn't alone. Life after sepsis, and I wasn't alone. So, yeah, it's just some of the after effects are absolutely crazy. And if you talk to someone about them that doesn't necessarily understand, they look at you like you're nuts, which really isn't. It's not the way it should be, especially with healthcare professionals. That's not the way it should be. So let's go on to how long will recovery take. So I personally had sepsis in 2016, and I know a couple of you have actually commented when you had it. So let me just take a quick look back. So Kimberly is 2 years in April. Carol, 3 years ago this week. Oh my God, Carol. I'm just going to read your comment out. So Carol has put here, 3 years ago this week, I was fighting for my life. PSS is still affecting my nerve endings in my legs. I have brain memory fog. Loss, it affected my hearing and eyesight. My kidneys have never been the same, and I'm off work due to my kidney functions is very low, which terrifies me. You know that we are here for you. Everyone in this chat is here for you. If you ever need anyone to talk to, you know where we are. So 3 years on and still suffering the effects of sepsis. Okay. Who else? If you're watching, let me know when you had sepsis. Let us know how long your recovery has been. Which leads me to the next section in the book. How long will recovery take? So it says here, recovery time varies for each person. Yes, it does. Genuinely, it can take a few weeks to a few months. But for some people, it can take longer. So a few weeks, few months, 4 years, 2 years, 3 years. I would say more so years, wouldn't you? Anyway. Okay, so there are contributing factors that can influence recovery from sepsis, such as age, medical history, and length of hospital in stay. And I truly believe that. I really do. However, I think that there's a lot of children that also suffer the effects of PSS long term, but because it's not recognised, it's not picked up. So their parents are talking about PSS, but because PSS isn't recognised by NICE, it therefore you can't. They can't say, well, your child's got post-sepsis syndrome. Now, you know, without complicating everything, long COVID has just been recognised by NICE. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this shines a light on PSS, because they are the same thing. They're so very similar. Okay, so for those that have suffered organ damage or have undergone amputations as a result of sepsis, recovery time can be complex, often involving ongoing treatment. If you have suffered organ damage or an amputation, Further specific information will be provided by your healthcare providers. So I want to know if you have suffered organ failure, organ damage, amputations. Have you had the support that you are supposed to have had? Have you? Honestly, if you have, please share that, because it's so lovely when someone comes on and says, do you know what, I did get the help I needed. I hear so many people that will say to me, I've been on my own, I've had no support. So yeah, if you're watching this and you have suffered either of those, let me know. I want to know if you have had the support that you need. So I'm hoping it's got this is what I wanted. Right. So, common physical problems during recovery. Okay. Some people have one or two of the problems listed, and some may have more. Fatigue, repeated infections, trouble sleeping, new allergies and sensitivities, itchy and dry skin, brittle hair and hair loss, brittle nails and teeth, intolerance to very bright, noisy or crowded spaces, temperature sensitivities, often feeling very hot, cold or sweating, joint pains and muscle weakness, dizziness, headaches, nausea, breathlessness, poor appetite, change in taste, change in vision, reduced kidney function. And going back to Carol's comment a second ago, I'm pretty sure she said, I'm pretty sure Carol said kidney function, reduced kidney function. There we go. So let's see here. Okay. Right. Okay. So how about common cognitive problems during recovery? Difficulty with short-term memory, difficulty with concentration, difficulty with speech, for example, finding the right words. Me and Laura have this all the time. And difficulty performing tasks you previously could. And the last section, guys, is common psychological and emotional problems during recovery. Right, so we've got here, again, so some people may have one or two emotional problems listed, and some may have more. Mood swings, feeling snappy, irritable, angry or upset. Low mood, lack of interest in things that you previously enjoyed doing and possible in your personal experience and appearance. Anxiety about becoming unwell again, I have that all the time. Loss of confidence, wondering what if I hadn't survived, and that links to my circle of what if, which I have blogged about. Feeling guilty for the worry everyone experienced or that you survived. Remembering some or all parts of your hospital stay, with these thoughts reoccurring as dreams, nightmares or flashbacks. I'm pretty sure somebody else mentioned that as well. And feeling frustrated, isolated, that nobody understands how you may be feeling, and strain on relationships. So you can see here that, life after sepsis doesn't just instantly go back to normal for some people. For some people, it takes time. And that's okay. I'm 4 years on and I'm still dealing with it. I'm accepting it and knowing that I'm not alone, which is the most important thing, is knowing that you're not alone. Let me just take a look at the comments. Okay. Mary, thank you for joining me. I'll take a look at the audio when I'm done. I'll see if it's anything my end. And Laura, thank you for joining. So yeah, Carol, thank you so much. This is a horrible time for me. Yeah, let us know how you get on. So for anyone watching this back on replay, if you know someone that has had sepsis, please know that they may struggle after, and it's just so important that they don't feel like they're on their own. And the UK Sepsis Trust is an absolutely amazing organisation. So if you are suffering with anything in this book, please contact them and you can speak to Oliver, Francesca, you can speak to any of their registered nurses, and they will be there to help you and support you. That is what their job is to do. And, don't be hard on yourself. I was really hard on myself, especially with like the nightmares and the memory loss, until I realised I wasn't on my own, and that other people were going through something similar. And then having that community conversation where you can then support each other. So the one thing that I have taken away from life after sepsis is the fact that I'm now a part of a wider community, that there is so much support. I've gained friends that I would say would be for life now, and we genuinely talk to each other about it, because if you're talking to someone that hasn't been through something similar like you, they don't get it, they don't understand. So that it's really important to not be too hard on yourself. No matter what the situation is, you are here. You are a survivor. You are strong. And my inbox is always open for all of you. If you're having a bad day, if you're struggling. And so that goes for everyone in the Sepsis Around the World group. Everyone is always there for each other. And I'm really, really proud of that. I'm really proud that for some people that have experienced this and they have become a part of a community, their life after sepsis is made just a little bit easier, knowing that they've got the help and the support there from people, from outsiders. However, ultimately, you should be getting the help from the people that it's their job to be there to help. But for a lot of sepsis survivors, it's just not the case. A lot of people are left to suffer in silence. I did a BBC interview and we highlighted post-sepsis syndrome, and I spoke about the fatigue, chronic fatigue, memory loss. And after that BBC interview aired, a lady contacted my workplace and asked for me. And she said to me, "Thank you." She said, "I have felt so alone all of these years." And to me, that really hit me, that someone had been suffering for so long, not knowing what they was going through, and then they've heard something and it's clicked. So it's so important to talk about your experience as well, because when you talk about it, there's somebody out there that might hear your story and I'll instantly feel like they're not alone. So let's take a quick look. And yeah, Carol, yes, I really tried to get my campaign up on the screen, and it just it don't work. I don't know why it's not working. So I'm going to look into that and do a whole stream on hashtag around the world in 13 days. I'm gonna get Sam to take a look at it and see if we can get it to work. Because every time I put the link for the video, it was just like it wouldn't play. She's very strange. So 100% going to be doing that. But guys, thank you so much for watching. And the comment section and coming on to talk to me, I can't thank you enough. And a part of my life after sepsis is this. is raising awareness and my campaign #AroundTheWorldIn13Days, which I really wanted to do a reflection video with 2019 and then watch 2019 and then watch 2020 back to back. So I'm going to work out how to get that working because I want it to be kind of flawless, not like a broken video. So keep an eye out for that stream because that one is coming. That's one I really want to do, and I really wanted to do it today. But it weren't playing ball. It weren't playing with me today. But yeah, so my life after sepsis has turned into helping people, raising the awareness, and to be honest, it's helped me so much. I don't know whether I would be as well recovered mentally if I wasn't doing what I was doing now. And I'm always looking for different ways to raise awareness. Obviously, the Face of Sepsis interviews was on Instagram, but by creating a whole channel which can just be about sepsis, I think it's invaluable, and it's a different audience as well here on Twitch. So yeah, my life after sepsis, I would say my life after sepsis has been getting better and better because of you. If you're watching this and you have followed everything that I've done, from charity work to press releases to events to campaigns to taking part in #AroundTheWorldIn13Days, because of you, I feel like I'm getting stronger and stronger every day, and I can't thank you enough. So I'm going to wrap it up here. And if you're watching this back on replay and you hear one of those signs or symptoms for an emotional, physical or psychological symptom, please contact the UK Sepsis Trust. They are always there for you to talk to, and they also have a 24-hour helpline. So yeah, they are absolutely amazing. This is on their website under resources, so you can find this online. And I always keep this. It's always in my drawer. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. And like I said, the next one will be the review one of both the campaigns. I've just got to figure out how to get it to work flawlessly. And anyone that's watching this knows I'm a perfectionist, so I won't go ahead with something if it don't look right. But yeah, thank you so much, and love to you all. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will speak to you all very soon. Thanks, guys.